Hi everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. I just want to thank everybody that subscribes to my channel and watches my videos. That I hit over 1,000 subscribers, and I'm very thankful to all of you. Okay, so my project today is a box, of course, that it's a treat box. It holds these peanut butter eggs. Let me show you. You just pop this down. And it opens, and there is 6 of the peanut butter Reese's Eggs inside. And it says Happy Easter on the inside of the lid. And Hey Chick on the, I put on the twine that I ran, the linen thread that I ran around it. I used Hey Chick stamp set. For the sentiment on the inside, I used a Ranger Wreath stamp set. The Oso Ombre paper. And the chick dies, which are right here. I did not have this stamp set. That was, I think, 1 or 2 years ago. This was one of the gifts in the celebration for $50, I think, maybe 100. But I didn't have it. So when I was looking to get which one I wanted to get, I will eventually get the birthday chick one also. They're only available till June 22nd, I believe. I liked these dies with the corn and the little chain link fence best, so that's why I picked this set. But I do want to get the birthday chick one. The one with the cupcake is just so cute. So I'll fix that later. All right, so we're going to start with a piece. I used Pretty Peacock that is 9 inches by 7 inches. All righty. I'm going to get my Simply Scored. Alright, and we're going to start with the 9-inch side at the top. Okay, and we're going to score at 1 1/2, 2 1/4, 5 1/4, and 6. Then we're going to turn it to the 7-inch side, and we're going to score it at 3/4, 1 1/2, 5 1/2, and 6 1/4. All right. Good. I'm gonna fold and burnish. And this is what we want to do. Now, to start, I want you to put it, there's going to be 2 3/4-inch lines on either side. And there is a 1 1/2, I believe, up at the top. Yes, 1 1/2-inch piece up there, and the larger piece down the bottom. That's where we're going to start. Okay, so you make sure that you have the larger piece here at the bottom. And I'm going to show you, we're going to get rid of this and this square and this rectangle, and then all of this and all of this. Okay, so let's start. Make sure you're starting with the 2 skinny rectangles on either side this way, going up and down, and the bigger piece towards you. All right, so we're going to go, this is going to be our flap right here, our front flap. So we're going to keep the front flap straight and just go all the way up to the 2nd score line, okay? And then just get rid of everything that's below that score line. Okay, so that's how that looks. And we're going to do the same on the left side. We're going to keep that big long flap straight and go to the 2nd score line. Turn it and get rid of everything below the score line that we went up to. Okay, and that's how we're looking. All right, so now let's turn it with our flap to the big piece to the left. All right, We want to keep these two long rectangles. So let's just keep them straight. And there's this little square here we want to keep. So let's go straight on the other side of the square. Take off that one. And wedge this little square right there. Okay, and that's what it looks like right there. And then we just have to take off this rectangle, just the first one. All right, and that's what that looks like. Okay, now we're going to turn it 180 so that the big flap is facing the right. We're going to come down here to these two smaller rectangles. We're going to cut them straight, and we're just going to cut off one of them. Okay. Okay, let me just straighten up this a little bit. I screwed that up a little bit. Okay. Now we only want to keep this square in here. So we're going to go straight on the side of these two rectangles. Cut off the square that's closest to you. And then wedge the square that's left. And that's what that looks like. Okay, and that should match up. Yes, it does. Okay, so if you wanted to take a screenshot, that's what we land up with out of that piece. With the longest piece now on the right-hand side. All right, and we only have to round the corners of this double with the two long rectangles here. We're just going to round right here and right here. So it's the rectangles that are on the side, the longest ones left. And we're going to round the part that's closest to that really big flap in the front. Okay, and I'm not going to round the flap, just the top here. You don't want to round the bottoms too. Okay, so now it just looks... The only thing different now is this right here. Okay, now we need some tear and tape. And what I want you to do is put a piece on the two little square flaps we made next to the short piece at the top there. It doesn't have to be really a lot. We just want it to stick so it's out of our way. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this line and make it flush with this line. Make it straight with that line, okay? You might have to bend back some other pieces to get them out of your way. All right, so you just want to make sure that this is nice and straight. Right like that. Okay, and we're going to go to the other side. Now we're not attaching anything to this smaller flap on this side. We have to make sure that we're attaching it to these two rectangles. Okay, so we're going to take this line from the inside rectangle and make it straight with the line at the top of our flap. Alrighty, so then this is what you have, and these are going to go in. Now I didn't get two things of the Reese's, so I'm going to have to use this one. Alright, so I'm going to put the Reese's in just so it gives us something to gauge it by. Alright, now we need tear and tape on this flap as close to the outside. You could put two if you want. I'm just going to put one as close to the outside as we can. And you could figure this out beforehand and do it, but I did not. All right, and we're going to take the paper off of the tape. All right, put our Reese's in. And what I want you to do is get this line here. I don't know if you can see this line here at the inside of these that are sticking up. And just make sure that it goes straight with this line. All right, this is very similar to the The way this part is constructed is very similar to the Mercy Chocolates little tiny box I made. All right, so then we want to make sure that this here is straight with that inside line here, and then just put it down. And it should just go, well, this one didn't. It should be straight at the bottom right here too. All right, make this one is pretty good. All right, and that's how you get that part. Now we need some DSP. All right, and we need 2 pieces. This is part of the Oso Ombre that is part of the celebration. $50, you can get this free if you spend $50, and we only have till the 28th. So time is running low on that. And we need 2 pieces that are 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. And one's going to go in on the outside, and I didn't really care about that little notch because we have a little piece that looks like the grass that's going to go over that, okay? And one for the inside of the box. But before we put it in the box, right in the middle, from Arrange a Wreath, we're going to use the Happy Easter stamp. And I'm just going to put it right in the middle of the whole piece. Okay. And then this is going to get attached with seal to the inside of the box, inside of the flap. Okay, so we also need for right here, this is another piece of the Oso Ombre Designer Series paper. Same colors, just that it has the little circly egg looking ones. This piece is 1 1/4 by 3 3/4. And I will put all the measurements down below and on my blog. I will link. Alrighty. And that's going to go right on the inside here. Okay. All right, so that's it for the inside. Now we have to put our piece, our second piece that is 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. On the outside. Alrighty. Then we need one piece of the green Oso Ombre that is 3/4 by 3 3/4. And that's going to go right on the bottom of the paper we already put there. Alrighty. Now we need a whole bunch of die cuts. No, this is adorable. We don't need the chick yet. Alrighty. So I cut one of the chain link fence dies. Let me take these out. And this is out of Smoky Slate, I believe. Let me just check it. Yes, Smoky Slate cardstock, and that's going to go right about right there. And we need, I cut the corn stalk out of Mossy Meadow. The little pieces of the bottom of the corn out of Old Olive, and the corn out of Bumblebee. Now I wanted to put this little sign, but it was just a little too much for the front of the box, so I'll show you what we'll do with that later. All right, so first we have to glue the corn stalk together. And I used my silicone mat and some liquid glue. And I'm going to use a piece of one of the stamping sponges. And I'm just going to cut off a wedge. So what I want to do is, we're going to use this for the back of the chain link fence, but we have to do this first. So, all right. Alrighty, first we want to put our cornstalk on, and what I did was I just took a little bit of glue, and I just made sure that the cornstalk did not move too much, so I didn't get too much on the front. There we go, I got a little, but it's not too bad. And then I'm just going to place it right on the front. Now the better thing would probably do is to put this whole panel together before you put it on the box in case you make a mistake. Hopefully we won't. Alright. Okay, and now we can assemble our corns. So we just need a little bit on each one of these. I'm just gonna grab a little glue. Okay. Then I placed, while these are drying, I just want to get a little bit of this out of the way so that I don't get it on the front. Okay, I'm going to put my fence face down and get a little more glue. And just pounce it on our fence so that it has just a little bit of glue. And then I'm going to put it over the cornstalk. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. Alrighty. My lights are in the wrong direction. Lovely. Okay, and now we can add our... You could put some corn down farther, but I figured this was good. I don't know if I've seen corn stalks where stuff's at the very bottom. I bet you it is. I just haven't looked that closely. I'm gonna put one right there. I could use my take your pick. That would be the smart thing. And one a little above that. And one close to the top. Whoop. Okay. Now I'm just going to wipe this off for another time. I tend to rinse these in the sink. Okay, so this is what I have so far. Alrighty. And now we're going to stamp our chick. Now, I love this one with the Bad Hair Day. And some Memento Black ink. I'm just going to stamp them. Just like that. These are nice crisp images that come out of this. And I do have one I already stamped and die cut with the chick die, so I don't have to worry about it drying. All right, now for our coloring. For the chick, I used some light smoky slate, and I just kind of outlined the places right on the edges of them. Her, I guess. I'm not sure. And in the little ruffled feathers. And then most of the little tail here I did. And I take a little bit of color lifter. And I like to just go a little bit on the edges of the parts that are really stark. And it just blends it out a little bit. Okay. Now for the hair, I used Dark Daffodil Delight. which you could do, you know what, I'm gonna do just some dark, and then I'm gonna fill in with a little bit of the light. Okay. And then for the beak, I'm using dark Melon Mambo. And for the feet, I used light Pumpkin Pie. Okay, and that's it for the coloring of the chick. All right, now I'm going to use some dimensionals. I'm just going to put one on the head and one on the belly. Just leave the feet free because that's where we're going to run our linen thread in a little while. Okay, here we go. And did we do the inside? Yes, we did. All right, now for the sign, what I did was I stamped the little "Hey Chick" when I thought I was going to use this right on the middle of the sign. And then, so you don't even have to cut out the sign. You can just use a little piece of, this is crumb cake. And then I'm just going to cut out the sign, cut out the middle area of the sign. And then we just have this little, looks like a board. But you don't have to do that. You could just use a straight up piece of crumb cake so you don't have to go through the cutting of it. And then what I did was I took, you could use, take your pick tool and a piece of foam and just cut a hole. But I have this old, tiny, I guess it's a 1/16 hole punch. So that's what I'm going to use. Just cut that piece off the back so it doesn't get in my way when I'm threading it. Okay, and then I took some linen thread. Oh, it's in there. Okay, so we have this already. You could write your little to and from on there. And close it up. And I just ran it, and I tucked it under the legs. Leave yourself a little to tie your bow, and I just ran it around 2 times. Having a hard time on this. Oh, because it's catching the bottom. There we go. All right, and then I didn't really want to tie a knot, so I just ran it through underneath, just like that. And I had it come to rest close to the bottom of the corn stalk. And I'm just going to cut this off. And we're going to put the little "Hey Chick" on the one that's lower, whichever one you made the lower piece. Okay, and pull it reasonably snug so that it'll keep your nice box shut. You could put Velcro to keep it, and then just tie a bow and just put a glue dot there. But when I tried it with the Velcro, and you can see that's what ripped here. I didn't like having those big dots here in the way of whatever you're going to write. So if you don't mind, then go right ahead. All right, now I'm just gonna try to tie my bow again. And then it just says a little "Hey Chick" on the bottom, and then inside it says "Happy Easter." All right, and I'll just trim these up a little bit. And then for the final touch, I used some of the Holiday Rhinestone Basic Jewels, which I believe are still available. And I'm not sure what color it is. I didn't look it up, but it's a very light blue, so it kind of matches with this designer series paper. And I just put one up by the corn, one down by the chick, and one up on the other side of the chick. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I would love it if you would subscribe and hit the like button if you like this video. And just remember, oh, I got these at Dollar Tree. They were the little packs, but I believe you can buy bigger packs at Walmart and Target if you wanted to do more of these. So, because one pack, I think you get 2 extra. I think there's about 8 in a pack, and you need 6 for this. Alrighty, just a little extra. And if you wanted to get any of the, I guess, retiring items from the Celebration catalog, that ends on February 28th. And if you would like to become a demonstrator just for a hobby, just spend $300 every 3 months, or to become one as a business, just let me know and I can help you with that. I will see you next time. Bye.